The Red Rag Riddle. Chapter 9. Another jigsaw puzzle piece. By Tuesday evening, everyone had had time to think. Maybe too much time. Nearly all had a story to tell and something interesting to share. As I recall, mentioned Reginald, a particular gentleman at the yard sale did ask a question or two about our profits. In my opinion, criminals do like to investigate profits, because it may be a waste of time if the amount of work outweighs the benefits. The other children stared at him. That wasn't anything new. Reginald often spoke in highly sophisticated ways. Thankfully, Dr. Kindheart spoke up. But Reginald, anyone could have asked about the profits simply out of kindness. He may have wanted to know how much more money we would need to reach our goal. Yes, but this customer had conspicuously big pockets in his pants, good for holding wallets, jewellery and a money box, I would imagine, Reginald added. What did he look like? Did he have a bright red scarf in his jacket pocket? And did he kind of hang around all day? Pudge broke in. Before Reginald could answer, Miriam chimed in. Pudge, you saw him too? Miriam asked in surprise. Now that I think of it, he did have a kind of greedy look in his eyes. At first, I thought I was just imagining it. What do you mean by that, Miriam? Asked Mrs. Peace. Well, he kept looking around a lot, and he wore big thick glasses on the end of his nose, like he could be trying to inspect something or steal something, like a rat sniffing out a big hunk of cheese. And he was writing down things on a clipboard, maybe planning a big robbery. Several girls shivered at the thought. Calm down, girls, said Mrs. Lovejoy. Let's think. Unless he was comparing prices with the other yard sales in town, I can't imagine any reason for him to be taking notes half the day. He's the criminal, Miriam blurted out again. I'm sure of it. He looked as if he could be one too. He just paced back and forth and tried not to look anyone in the eye. Criminals hardly ever do, you know. They don't want you to recognise them or remember their faces. He probably wore that red bandana-looking thing to wipe off any fingerprints he made on the money box, she added. Oh my! Sandy put her hands to her head. Miriam, you just reminded me of something. The man who gave us the extra money at the lemonade stand wiped his face with a red bandana. Before, I didn't remember exactly what colour it was, but now I know. It wasn't pink or orange, it was red. What if the money he gave us was really stolen money? I guess he wanted to encourage us to make more money, so he would have more money to steal for himself. This is scary, Christy whispered. What if he's been watching us the whole summer? You say you remember that he was wearing a red bandana? Interrupted Booker. Pudge nodded. J. Michael, remember the man who helped us catch Snowy? His dog had a red rag or a handkerchief tied around his neck. Do you suppose? No, J. Michael stated firmly. It couldn't have been the same person. Booker, it was only a dog. Lots of dogs wear bandanas. Secondly, the man who helped us was too nice to be a criminal. Besides, he wasn't wearing glasses. He for sure wore no glasses, he said again. He could have used a good pair, though, now that you mention it. He did almost run into a telephone pole. What if he's the same person who left the note in our money box? AC asked. No, he answered himself. Why would he do that if we were trying to steal our money? The note simply said he knew who stole the money, not that he took the money. AC, what a perfect trick, Racer exclaimed, throwing up his hands. Don't you get it? He's trying to mislead us or give us the wrong idea. He wouldn't tell us if he were the criminal, right? Wait one moment, Reginald's mind raced. Let's solve this problem by putting all the pieces together logically. What was it you said the other day about Bobby Springer? What about him? Racer asked. He was the only individual standing at the lemonade stand when you came back outside. Is that correct? AC and Racer nodded their heads. So you had the money before he came, and after he left it was gone, Reginald continued. Well, it seems like simple, logical, deductive reasoning to me. Bobby Springer is the one who took the money. Mystery solved. Reginald sat back and crossed his arms in satisfaction. I don't believe it, J. Michael said boldly. At least he didn't want to believe it. Now that we're on the subject of the Springers, I wish we could give them some money to buy food or clothes, or to fix their house, or to go to school. I know God didn't bring them into our lives unless it was for a reason. God might be using the Springers and this theft to make us take our minds off what we want for ourselves and focus on their needs instead. A long pause followed. Could be, AC thoughtfully nodded. Maybe we need a benevolence fund, suggested Reginald. A what? Asked Hapford, knitting his eyebrows. Hapford did not share Reginald's love for big words. You know, replied Reginald, a benevolence fund, when you set money aside to help someone. In this case, the Springers. Sadly, at present, no extra funds exist in the account. He quickly did some math in his head, then he shook it as though the decision were final. We still have some computer money that wasn't stolen. AC trailed off. He knew not everyone would like what he was thinking. What he said was loud enough for Pudge to hear, though. Oh, no, you don't. That money is for our school computers. We're not going to give it away. Maybe the Springers do need the money, but so do we. That's why we all agreed to work this summer. Yes, Pudge, but their need is greater than ours, Sandy said. Don't even think about it, AC, Pudge warned. Booker broke in. I'm with you, Pudge. We've worked too hard to stop now. What if we gave the Springers the money we make at the Founders' Day bake sale? Wouldn't that be fair? Christy asked. But that might be our biggest fundraiser of the whole summer, grumbled Pudge. If we don't keep that money, we won't have enough to buy the computers, and we will have worked the whole summer for nothing. Wait a minute, Pudge, AC said. We can share. Yes, Pudge, Christy added. Any time we give something in his name, it's as if we are giving it to the Lord. That's not for nothing. Pudge's conscience got the better of him. He got the message. The parents remained silent. The students would solve this problem on their own. They understood God's Spirit speaking to their lives, but following him wasn't always easy. AC looked from one friend to another. If you would be willing to donate the bake sale money to the Springers, raise your hand. J. Michael's went up first, then Christie's, Sandy's and Reginald's. Racer, Miriam and Hapford checked around before joining in. Reluctantly, Pudge and Booker raised their hands too. They knew it was the right thing to do. It was settled. The only things not settled now were who stole the money from the lemonade stand and who could be following them. The students had no real proof or explanation to point a finger at anyone. Just looking around at a garage sale, walking a dog or giving a little money to a lemonade stand was no crime. No one had actually seen the person who stole the money. They needed more proof and more agreement on the mystery man's description. Everyone remembered seeing a red scarf or handkerchief or rag or bandana, but no one could really describe the man. It seemed everyone remembered something different. Instead of completing the puzzle, it only added more questions. At least the students did agree to sacrifice part of their hard-earned money to give it to the Springers. That was the most important thing right now. Because it was God's leading, he would bless them for it. All of the other things would take care of themselves, in God's time and in God's way. So that was the end of that, for now.